Hello everyone, my name is Dalton and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a October wrap-up and a November TBR. And I'm not gonna lie, October was like one of the best reading months I've ever had. I read like 8 books, I believe, maybe 7. Anyways, I just had a really good reading month, and without further ado, let's get into the books that I read in the month of October. The first book that I managed to read in the month of October, I actually started in September but finished in October, and that was The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I love this novel. I really loved the series. I've wanted to read the series all year now, and I finally pushed myself through it. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It picks up very nicely from the end of the first book. I will say I didn't love the main perspectives in this novel as much as I did the first novel, so that's why it got 4 out of 5 stars instead of 5 like the last one, but still loved it. And as you will see here in a minute, I managed to move on to the third book. But yes, this was the first book that I read. Great start to my month, to be honest. Then the next book that I managed to read was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I just had to drive to work and back and forth a couple places, so I picked up the audiobook to this, which I've actually never listened to before. And I didn't love the narrator's voice particularly, but it still was great to get back into this series and this world. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely loved it. It was the perfect Halloween read, too. Yeah, I just had a great time with it. I'm not gonna lie. And then the next 2 books that I picked up were actually graphic novels, and it was volume 2 and 3 of Fence. It's basically just a little graphic novel that this young man who's in like high school on like a fencing scholarship is just trying to get onto the fencing team at the school, and he has to go through tryouts, and it's just like all about fencing. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a little queer, a little gay, but we haven't really seen a whole lot of it yet. I think with the third book, though, things are finally starting to pick up and happen. I think our enemies to lovers story is really starting to, like, actually start. But I loved both of them. They're very, very quick reads. They're only like 100 pages. So I read both 2 and 3 of those, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I think I gave both of them 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I picked up was The Stone Sky, also by N.K. Jemisin. Like I said, I wanted to finish this series this year, and I managed to do it. I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. I still think the first one is probably my favorite out of all 3 of them. Again, there was a perspective in this that I didn't, well, there were actually 2 perspectives in this one that I didn't love. But overall, the story was still excellent. The way she writes her novels is excellent. N.K. Jemisin has easily become one of my favorite authors of all time. She is now an auto-buy author. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars as well. I can't wait to read her new book that actually came out today. So, because it was October, like spooky season and that sort of stuff, I did want to try to read a couple more mysteries. So I read the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I have complicated feelings with this novel, to be honest. I liked it, but it was very confusing. And it's kind of sci-fi-esque. So basically, this person wakes up in a new person's body every day, and he has no memory, but he's got to try to solve these mysteries, or this mystery of who's killing Evelyn Hardcastle. It's strange. It was all right. The writing was decent. Nothing bad necessarily. I just didn't love it, and you'll see here in a minute. Maybe I'm just not a mystery person. I think that's probably more likely than this book was bad. I gave this like a 3 out of 5 stars, but honestly, it could have been like a 2.5, maybe even 2 if I really have to sit here and think about it too long. It wasn't the worst book that I read this month, but it definitely was far from my favorite. Speaking of worst book that I read this month, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is the worst book that I've read all year, to be honest. I do not understand the hype over this novel. I do not understand why people like this novel. I don't understand this novel. I don't understand the writing. I don't understand anything about this. I despised every single part of this book, and I'm not even kidding when I say that. I hated the way it was written. I hated both characters. And I understand they're unlikable characters. I understand that. However, to be able to like a character, even if they are necessarily unlikable, they still have to have some sort of redeeming qualities. And neither one of these characters had any redeeming qualities whatsoever. They were both just terrible people. And like that's fine, but like I need something else that would draw me into this novel. Like I'm fine with reading a story about terrible people, but the writing at least has to be good. You know what I mean? 1 star. I gave this book 1 star immediately. The ending pissed me off because it doesn't end. It's just over all of a sudden. Nothing is resolved. Awful. Awful. Hated it. This will be the worst book that I've read this year. I already know it. There's nothing else that I plan on reading in like the next 2 months that will be worse than this. I know that for a fact. So now the next couple books are just books that I've started and got a chunk of the way through. So I'm just going to mention them on here. They're also going to kind of move me into my November TBR as well, just because I will have to continue these books into November and hopefully finish them here pretty soon. The first book that I continued with and started was The Girl Who Played with Fire, also by Stieg Larsson. I got the audiobook to this one as well, and have just been listening, driving back and forth from work and that sort of thing. I'm only like 140 pages into this. I haven't had a whole lot of time to dedicate towards this one like I did the first one, just because I've been reading 2 other books as well. But I am thoroughly enjoying this one as well. I love this story. I love this trilogy. I love the writing. I love everything about this series. So I am excited to continue on, even though it is the same narrator in the audiobook that I didn't love for the first one, but I'll survive. The second book that I've picked up and moved my way through is Sharp Objects, also by Gillian Flynn. I wanted to read another murder mystery in the month of October, and this one was super short, so I decided to pick it up even though I hated Gone Girl, and instantly liked this book so much better. The writing style fits me a lot better. While I don't love it, I love everything about it compared to Gone Girl, if that makes sense. Like, I know this isn't going to be a 5-star read for me, because I'm just not enjoying it that much, but like, even compared to Gone Girl, a 3-star read is still light years better, in my opinion. So I am enjoying it. Like I said, I'm not enjoying it so much that I think this is going to be the best book that I've ever read. It could be. She might be able to throw a plot twist at me at the end. I doubt it, but yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm like halfway through. I'm like 170 pages in. So I should be able to finish this either today or tomorrow. So this book I wanted to reread before the second book came out, just so I had the story and everything fresh in my mind, and that is The City We Became, also by N.K. Jemisin. This is my favorite novel by her, and the second book in the series actually comes out today. I should get my copy here at some point soon, because I did pre-order it. I am about 150 pages into this one as well, and I love this novel. I read the first 150 pages in a couple hours just because I was enjoying the story that much. I'm so excited to pick up the second one as soon as I can. I will throw a picture up on the screen. I think it's The World We Make is what the title is. I'm so excited to read this book. It's probably like, other than To Paradise, it's probably like my most anticipated book of the year. I'm just so excited to read it because I loved the first one so much. Beyond those books, the next couple books that I'm going to try to get to in the month of November are mainly books from my 2022 like reading challenge, like the books I want to read in 2022, because I am doing so dreadfully awful at that, because I've read like 6 books at this point. So I'm going to mainly try to focus and knock some of those out so I can at least get to like halfway and not feel so bad about it. But the first book that I want to try to get to from that list is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I don't know why I haven't picked this up. I don't have a good excuse. I am very, very excited to read this. I've heard nothing but great things. I don't think I've ever heard a single bad thing about this book. And I've owned this copy for a while now, so I really do just need to like sit down with it and get it over with. It's not super long, so it shouldn't take me too long either, which I'm excited for because a couple of these books are pretty chunky. The next book that I'm going to try to get to is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I actually should be getting the audiobook to this sometime soon, so I'll probably just read along and listen to that because I'm not super excited about this story, I'm not going to lie. It is probably a romance. I know it's definitely historical fiction, which neither one is like my genre. It's not something that I want to read. So I know I probably won't love this. I just want to give the author a shot just because she is a super popular author and go from there. Maybe I'll like it. It could surprise me. We'll see. Now, I am very, very excited for this book as well. It's probably like the second book that I'm most excited for beyond the new N.K. Jemisin one, and that is The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. I read The Rage of Dragons last year, and I freaking loved it. I really hope the author throws me a bone here at the beginning and kind of like reintroduces the world because it has been so long since I've read it that I have forgotten quite a few of the nuances that go with the magic systems and that sort of thing. But I'm so excited for this. The last one was like nonstop action, and I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. I'm super excited about this, and I hope I give this book hopefully 4 out of 5 stars, hopefully 5 out of 5 stars, but I don't know. I'm kind of picky some days, so like we'll see. And I also want to read Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor in the month of November. This is another book on my 22 books that I want to read in 2022. The only reason I chose this one really is because it's YA, and I figured it wouldn't take me as long to get through it as some of the other ones. The Evan Winters novel might take me a little bit of time because it is like epic fantasy. Hopefully this one does not, though, so I can get through this pretty quickly. Just so I can knock another book off that list, honestly. That's the main reason. These next 2 books are going to take me a little while because they're both epic fantasy and they're both adult, and they're going to take a while, I know that. The first one is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I've wanted to read this book forever. However, I know it's not super plot driven, so I know it's going to take forever for me to... Hopefully it won't take me forever to be interested in the characters, but I have a feeling that it might, just with the way my reading year has gone. I feel like it might be a little bit of a struggle for me. So if any of them, this one might not happen next year, but I am going to try my darndest to get to this just so I can begin the series so that next year I can finish the series. Who knows if that'll happen, but I hope. This one, again, I know will take forever, and that is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. The first book, which is like half this size, took me like a week to read, even though it's like 300 pages. And hopefully that's not the case for this one, because I did find that one to be quite boring. So hopefully this one's a little bit more exciting. Same with the Evan Winter one, though. I hope the author does us a favor in the beginning, because I don't remember anything from that book other than there's 2 magic systems. I don't remember anything else. So hopefully I can get to this. If not, because it is so long, this one might be skipped. It's like 600 pages. So we will see, hopefully, but no promises for this one, unfortunately. But yes, those are all of the books that I've read in the month of October and all the books that I want to try to get to in the month of November. I have, there's quite a bit to read and get to, so hopefully I can, hopefully I have a relaxing month. Hopefully with like Thanksgiving and stuff, I have a little bit of extra time to sit down and read a little bit, but we will see. In next month's wrap up, there might be quite a few books on my list. There might not be. Well, we don't know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out. Bye.